All right, so we are going to talk about introduction paragraphs. Now, to write a really good introduction paragraph, you really only need three things, okay? You need a hook, something that grabs the reader's attention. You need some background info so they know what you're talking about. And then you need a thesis so that it's actually clear what argument you're making about that topic. We're going to go through each of those in some detail right now. Before we do, I want you just to have a general model of what your introduction paragraph should look like. Think of it as an upside down triangle. All right. You have a general statement that's grabbing the reader's attention and giving them a sense of why they should care about this thing. You're going to lead into your thesis statement, which is really a specific argument about that particular topic or work. Okay. And so we're going from general information down to that specific thing that is going to be the focus of your essay. So first part of that is the hook. This is where you need something that just grabs the reader's attention. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you some things not to do. But first, let me tell you some things that actually work, starting with a good, rich quotation from either the text itself or from another source. Always a good way to get the reader thinking, intrigue them, perplex them a little bit maybe, something that's going to make them actually want to read the next line of your essay. Especially when you're doing a social studies essay, a shocking statistic or data point, right? Something that says, oh my goodness, I should care about this topic. Always really good. A metaphor or other descriptive language, something that really paints a picture, that's going to help. A provocative statement. A provocative statement means something that is going to provoke them to think or have a reaction, right? So we might look at some examples of those coming up, but that's going to really depend on the particular essay that you're writing. Then turning a cliche on its head, right? So sometimes people might say, money's not the only thing in the world, right? But if you turn that on its head, say money's not the only thing in the world. But if you had a chance to win $1 bajillion, don't you think you'd take it? Right? Something that's going to make a kind of play on that classic cliche and make it a little bit more interesting. Here are some things not to do. Have you ever thought about the value of money? Have you ever thought about what it's like to be a little bit different? Don't do that. Everyone does it. It's boring. Would you believe? No, I wouldn't. Don't start would you believe. Or this essay is going to be about the book Akata Witch. I will not read the next line. All right, so make your hook grab the reader's attention. Second, you need contextual or background information so they know what in the world you're talking about. This is going to have two parts. The first is the bridge. So right after the hook, you're just going to identify the author and the name of the work or the issue that you're discussing. Don't say this issue or this essay is about or I will discuss. Just say, in the book Akata Witch by Nnedi Okorafor, a character, Sunny, encounters blah, 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 blah. Something that situates us within that specific work. So there's your bridge. And then you need a summary. 2 sentences is fine. And all you're going to say is the necessary background information for them to understand your argument, okay? For your reader to understand the argument. Assume they haven't read the book. Provide just enough information about the book and about the story for the reader to understand. Don't summarize the whole book and don't include the entire argument that you're going to have in your essay. Otherwise, we don't need the essay, all right? So just enough to understand what's going on. And then finally, you end with your thesis. We all know there is one crisp sentence. That's your thesis. That's your main argument. And it's going to have the topic of the essay. It's going to make a claim that addresses that the prompt. And it's going to suggest how you're going to answer this with your 3 main arguments. Right? I have a whole other video on how to write your thesis statement. So we're not going to go